Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new Alpinestars GP Pro one-piece race suit. Now, if you're looking at Alpinestars' line, this is an all-new model fitting into their race suit, their one-piece line out there. Comes in 3 graphics, so you might see a name after it, like Lerv, as we have here. They have a couple other graphics as well. It just is the overall style. But this is the new entry-level in the US one-piece race suit from Alpinestars. Previously, it was the Missile, which we were huge fans of. Honestly, it was actually too much suit for the price point. It was something that could have been easily a couple $100s more, and as we saw over the years, Alpinestars thought the same thing. They've since bumped the price of the Missile up to about $1,200 for the V2. We know a V3 is coming in the future that's going to be Tech Air compatible, but right now this is sitting at the $1,000 marker for the GP Force suit, and it's something that brings a lot of leather, a lot of cowhide, and a lot of ripstop stretch to the equation. Spurgeon and I were talking about this before, and the amount of stretch on this is actually really great for the full riding position, makes a tracksuit as comfortable as a tracksuit can be. But for anybody out there that's looking to get into track days or wants their first suit and wants an Alpinestars suit, the GP Force might just be a great option for you. But before I get too long-winded on all the features Alpinestars tossed into the new GP Force, let's talk about sizing. I have Spurgeon on my left. He's 6'3", 220 pounds with a 44-inch chest. Now, he has a little bit wider thighs than average, but the sizing chart puts him in a 56, and a 56 is fitting him spot on. We talked about maybe going up to a 58, but we think with a little bit of break-in and a back protector included, a 56 is going to fit him spot on. He actually really likes the overall look as well as the comfort in that riding position. Again, he might look uncomfortable standing up. That's because that's not what you're supposed to do with a race suit. You're going to be hunched over in that full tuck riding position. If you are planning on adding a Tech Air system into the GP Force, so the Tech Air 5 or the Tech Air 10, keep in mind, you're going to want to go up one size. If you're measuring the size chart, go up that full size, but with the measurements and not using that full Tech Air and just adding a back protector, maybe a chest protector, you should be all set with your measurements. They are true to that size chart. Comes in sizes ranging from 48 up to 64. Again, I mentioned there's 3 different graphics with their own colorways and priced at that $1,000 price point that we originally saw the Missile. This is now replacing that at that entry level price point. But let's talk about the overall features of the GP Force. I mentioned again, it is a cowhide main construction throughout. Everything you're going to see is cowhide, and then you are also getting a stretch ripstop main construction, and it's going to be everywhere in the suit. Again, on this colorway, it's everything that you see in black is stretch, so a ton of it up on the collarbone, coming down the sides of the chest, at the sides, inner thighs. There's just a ton of that polyester ripstop stretch throughout, and you are getting a CE AA abrasion resistance when it comes to the overall chassis. So again, a higher quality in the abrasion resistance, not AAA like we've seen from some of their more pro race suits out there, but still CE AA is going to be great for anybody out there hitting the track or riding around the canyons. This could be a great option for you. Again, I mentioned a really non-intrusive collar just made of that stretch ripstop. One thing we did point out, it's actually really big. Spurgeon was saying in that full tuck riding position, it does kick up. If you went up to a bigger size, that might be a larger issue. So just keep that in mind. They make it that way so it's not intrusive into your neck when you're riding. It's not something you're going to be thinking about, but keep that in mind. It is a little bit larger than we've seen from other suits out there. That stretch continues to the collarbone and down each side of the armpit, and then you have that cowhide main construction starting at the sleeves with their DFS sliders on the outer shoulder. Now underneath that, you are getting a full complement of their CE level 1 armor at the elbows, at the shoulders, then down at the knees as well. At the hips, you get their Nucleon, which is a softer armor, but it's all going to be CE level 1 armor. If you go up to CE level 2, it gets a little bulky, harder to move, so we see racers often prefer the CE level 1 to have that maneuverability. If you're thinking about how uncomfortable the armor is, you're already unsafe while you're riding. Now, at the outer side of the bicep, you do have leather that is perforated leather. It's not localized perforation. Alpinestars, if you're listening, would have loved to see that be localized perforation. Just get it away from the seams on the outside. Coming down the inside, you have that poly stretch again, leather at the forearm, and then you have a zipper and Velcro cuff closure. One of our nitpicks that we have here is that you can't tighten it anymore, and you do have a bit of excess in the material. So again, just keep that in mind at this lower price point. You're not getting those finer touches that we've seen from Alpinestars in the past. And underneath there, one thing I want to call out that has more to do with the inside of the suit is there's no zipper to remove the sleeve of the inner mesh liner. It's actually non-removable mesh liner throughout. That's a thing I think Alpinestars should fix the next version. If you get done a sweaty track day, you want to take that liner out and throw it in the washer. This one you cannot, so keep that in mind. You're going to be airing it out at the end of any sweaty track day. Looking at the front, we talked about it. It is a zipper main construction that goes down, and there is a zipper garage up top just to keep that zipper in place. Cowhide main construction running down the front chest with the Alpinestars script logo as well as the shark logo. That's going to change from graphic to graphic, so if this is not your style, just you can go ahead and pick another graphic out there, another colorway. A little bit of the stretch of the sides peeks in at the chest to get that full mobility. If you're hanging off the gas tank or hucking it into a turn, you have that stretch and that maneuverability. Running down the rest of the front, tons of stretch at the crotch. So something we were talking about before this, really comfortable. That's a pain point for a lot of riders out there, is not having enough stretch, maybe having harder materials. The more stretch you have there, if you're throwing your leg over one side of the bike or the other, just makes it easier to slide across the seat. Looking down the front of the thighs, you do have that perforated leather as well. Accordion stretch at the top of the knee with that GPR armor underneath there as well. And it includes knee pucks on the outside that you can adjust with the Velcro if you need to slide it around. Spurge, go ahead and turn to the side, hit that riding position for me. Coming down the side, accordion stretch at the upper shoulder meets up with that poly ripstop, and then you have full leather down the outer side. Again, that's a key feature because going down the low side at the track, even a high side, that is a high slide area, so you want to make sure you have full leather down the outside. Spurgeon, go ahead and face backwards for me. At the back, what you're going to notice is a rear race hump. Now, that is for aerodynamics. You can't fit any bladder in there or anything like that. That's just going to be for aerodynamics, but it is covered in stretch as well as leather. You get a good look at just the amount of stretch at the upper shoulder. You're going to be moving your arms around at the track, so keep that in mind. You want to have as much movement as possible. Full leather running down the back and that accordion stretch above the rear yoke. Now, you do have a double layer of leather at the seat. That is a very high likelihood of slide at that seat, so you want to make sure that's reinforced. Love when brands put double layer of leather on there. It's not too common that we don't see double layer leather, so I like that Alpinestars is going by the script there. At the back of the legs, you're going to notice you have a full swath of stretch running down the back. They don't use the zipper for calf adjustments anymore. They actually just throw in the accordion stretch at the back of the calves just to add that expansion, but it's going to suck in if there's any excess materials. With a pretty tight cuff, you can fit it in your average set of track day boots, like the SMX Plus boots that Spurgeon has on his feet. Spurgeon, you can go ahead and face front for me. So there you have the all-new GP4 suit from Alpinestars. Again, this is a suit meeting that entry-level price point for an Alpinestars suit, coming in at that $1,000 price point, replacing the missile in the line, which got bumped up to a whole nother level. If you're looking for a more technical race suit that has sliders at the elbow, is Tech Air 7 compatible with the new V3 that's going to be coming in the fall, take a look at the missile line. That's going to be one that might speak to you a little bit better if you want to go for a little bit more bang for your buck and a higher price point. But coming in at $1,000, the GP Force brings everything to the table that we'd expect from Alpinestars. If you still have questions on the suit, go ahead and click that info button on your desktop or mobile device. That's going to take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the new GP Force. If you still have questions after that, our customer service team is available. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next track day. I want to thank you for joining Spurgeon and I in checking out the all-new Alpinestars GP Force suit. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.